When I first met Alyssa, she was going through a difficult time. She had experienced some trauma. She had experienced some adversity on a number of different levels. She was experiencing some depression and some anxiety and, feeling not very confident in herself or in her friendships. I started to see her and just to get to know her and talk to her about, what was going on, what were the difficulties and, the things in her life that motivated her.
So she has very high functioning autism, and so she can speak very well, but she doesn't have a lot of voluntary conversation until you get to know her. So she's really slow to open up. So talking about something like suicide was really hard. But it was really important that she had that relationship with John and then started to trust in Mercy. And then she was able to open up more with me. I'll say puberty is hard for everybody, every one of us. It's really hard for somebody with autism. It's really hard to understand, like, are other people joking about me? Are they being mean to me? Are they my friends just kind of joshing around? So that can be really, really hard. And John and I both worked on kind of social skills with Alyssa.
And over time, she started to make some friends. And I think one of the things that happened is not only did she learn that she could make friends, but she discovered that she could be a good friend to others. And I think that really boosted her self-esteem.
I look forward to our sessions every week. For the longest time, I didn't really have anyone to talk about my interest, but he was welcome to listen. And his words, not mine, he says he learned a lot from me, from the different things that I'm interested in and the stuff I recommended to him. I appreciate him a lot more than I tell him normally.
John has been a friend to Alyssa when she didn't have any friends. Him taking the time to listen to her interest, not just about mental health issues, but he listens to her from anything about books to animated movies. He's all ears for Alyssa, and I feel like that has given her a lot of confidence.
The blessing at Mercy is that we have great psychiatrists that not only share patients with us, I share a number of patients with Dr. Kavanaugh, but as busy as she is, if I ever say, I need to talk to you about a patient, she's there. And all of our psychiatrists are like that. And so to have someone in crisis and to have an expert consultant who knows your patient available to talk to you at any point in time is just such a blessing. And it's just what makes Mercy, I think, magnificent.
And so I see Alyssa about every 3 months, and I give her medications to help with ADHD and then anxiety and depression. And then I also sort of every time check in and do a little bit of supportive psychotherapy, a little bit of social skills work to just see how she's doing. And, there's different barriers as you mature and age. And, what we talked about when she was 13 is very different than what we talk about now.
I love working with her. She's very kind and understanding. And she really asks how I'm dealing with school and the different facets of my life where I could talk to her if I'm having a problem.
And for me, Dr. Kavanaugh has really been like a steam engine of hope. She's led me to be the advocate that I am today for Alyssa. She's sent me in the right directions for services and support.
Mom is just one of those moms who loves her kids hard and fights for them, and so she didn't understand anything about the public school system and how to advocate for people with disabilities. And so most people don't know that. She was supposed to have like a one-to-one or somebody to go with her from class to class, because moving in a busy high school from one room to the next with so many people in the hallways and having a locker, and that was just a lot. So she needed somebody to like help her get from one class to the other. Not because she couldn't physically do it or mentally do it. It was just overwhelming. But the school wouldn't provide one, and so things like that, like how to advocate, because Alyssa is so high functioning, a lot of people were like, oh, well, she doesn't really need it, and so that's a hard barrier to get through. But Mom pushed through. She went to the IEP meetings. She used the right lingo to communicate with the schools. So yeah, I mean, I would say that mom did all the work. I just kind of directed her.
I've seen Alyssa grow. I've seen her ability to believe in herself has been just phenomenal. Now, she went from a scared 13-year-old that didn't believe in herself to now she's, working on her confidence. And she is a 19-year-old freshman at Nicholls State, going to be an education major to help other small kids with disabilities. And I have always believed in Alyssa, and I have always told her that college would be an option. And she put forth all the work, and she made it.
I love it there. I love the independence that it's given me. I just love the environment, the people. It's an adventure. That's really how I see every part of my life. Every day is a different adventure.
She had a lot stacked up against her, but I think what is really inspiring about her case is that she's so resilient despite all of those barriers. Now Alyssa is in college, doing great. So it just goes to show if you give people the supports that they need, they can thrive.
We could have went down a sad road. We could have, if they wouldn't have provided resources, we would be in a jam. And I look to the people here at Mercy almost like as parents. When I needed something for Alyssa, I could call and I could talk to the lady at the front desk that's been here forever. And, all I gotta say is this is Alyssa's mom, and they're all ears all the time because they know that I'm calling and I need some sort of direction because I didn't have anyone. So I really fell back on Mercy, Dr. Kavanaugh, Dr. John, that, I needed them to be able to help Alyssa. And I'm really grateful.
I feel blessed that Alyssa has welcomed me to go with her on these journeys, to go with her on these adventures, and I hope to continue with that. I think she's just at the start of her, abilities to go out into the world and do things, whether she's going to go into becoming a writer or a filmmaker or, a storyteller or a teacher is one of the things she's thinking of. I think she would be fantastic. If Alyssa, if you watch this video, I just want to say thank you for welcoming me along with your adventures and your journeys. And I hope to continue to join you.
I feel a lot better. I'm more confident in myself as a person and my abilities than I was when I first came here in 2018. I've just grown a lot as a person, mentally, physically, emotionally, and that's all thanks to Mercy and Dr. Kavanaugh and Dr. Hill.